Welcome to 3C Camp. My name is Sally, and here is a sneak preview of what's coming on the show.
I couldn't wear trousers in my father's house until I got to university.
When I was in high school, I was in a school where it was 10 minutes to home, but I was in a boarding.
I know there are some parents, if they come and find your boyfriend there, but that's like, kijana, mambo.
Parents are overly possessive with their kids. And when you also guys become parents, you will begin to appreciate from what angle they draw that possessiveness from.
From experience, I think if I had listened to my parents, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes. But you know, you're like, it's an African parent thing. Lazima, akiona kijana, lazima atakuwa like, he's not good enough. Hizo ni nini kwa nywele yake?
Often as young people, we think that our parents are too protective and unrealistic of the way we function. And on the other hand, our parents feel that if left unchecked, our lives will be destroyed and we'll make a fool out of ourselves. 3C Camp is a platform through which the youth get to connect, express, and grow. This week, we're looking at communication gaps between the parents and the youth on matters of relationship. Let's join the conversation.
How many can stand and say and tell their parents at this point that I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend?
There's no way you can stand and tell your parents that you have a boyfriend at such an age. Because the first thing they'll see, for example, if you're a girl, they'll just see you getting pregnant and dropping out of school and being miserable. That's the first thing they're going to see. Because, for real, because they don't see it as if you can be in a responsible relationship. They see it as if you're just becoming spoiled. In taking your boyfriend or girlfriend to your parents, I think at this age, I don't think it's convenient because by the time you're getting married, you would have brought a lot of people. You would have brought a lot of people because these relationships of nowadays, they don't even tend to last. Because you stay with someone, you find someone to say, let's say today, and then tomorrow you're hanging out. The next day, you're talking, you're going to their places. The next day, that person is not talking to you, and it ends there. And then that is... So, if you keep taking these people to your parents, Dad, this is my boyfriend. And then after 1 month, this is my boyfriend. By the time you're going to get married, you'd have brought very many people. And that's what I think on my part, why I wouldn't want to introduce boyfriends to my parents.
The parents have been telling us since we were small, since we were going to the university, we just focus on our studies. So doing something which they don't expect to lead you to problems that I think we cannot handle.
Another thing, our parents are not supportive. Are easy to support with our relationships. Compare with the Western countries, unapata like mtu anaambia their parents, I'm going out with my girl. Na anakubaliwa, anapatiwa curfew, anaambiwa you'll be back home at around 11 or 10. Our parents can't do that. Na bado wanamsupport, wanampatia maybe some little money ya kupelekana out.
Our parents, what they usually want, they want us to finish education, get a job, so that you can start being in a serious relationship. That's the problem. And this generation, finishing school, getting a job, could be 40 or 35, or even 50.
Wait first, I support you. I'm not having a problem with going to school. Yeah, because all of us must have education first of all. Yeah, but for our parents, they focus much on education. Then also you have lives. Yeah, we have to live it. Yeah. So they must support us in every way that they can, but not restricting us. Yenyewe tusaidii si kwa ubaya.
There are things that also add to why we don't even tend to take them to our parents, because I know there are some parents, if they come and find your boyfriend there, watakuwa like, kijana, mambo. And then they just look at them in a bad way. You know, like even someone does not feel wanted in that place. And then it just brings a lot of, you know, issues between you guys. So at times it's better if you just keep it to yourself and your friends. Yeah.
According to my experience, I think the older I've gotten, the more I've found my parents are more comfortable with the topic of like relationship. But I don't think that it's 100% bad for your parent to know these kind of things. From experience, I think if I had listened to my parents, I would have avoided a lot of issues in my life. I would have avoided a lot of mistakes. But you know, you're like, it's an African parent thing. Lazima, akiona kijana, lazima atakuwa like, he's not good enough. Hizo ni nini kwa nywele yake? Mbona unatembea na vijana anakaa hivyo? You know, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They don't even have the courtesy of waiting so that that guy goes and then they sit you down, they talk to you, they tell you this guy and this guy. Yani, you're there and then your mom is like, Lily, huyu ulitoa wapi? Anaenda kanisa gani? Anafanya nini? Anasomea nini? Sasa uliamua umeacha mambo ya kanisa. Yani, not most parents are comfortable with you taking the girlfriend or boyfriend to.
One thing that comes into their mind, relationship between a boy and a girl. The main aim of that relationship is sex, premarital sex or premature sex. That will end up to pregnancy. You cannot tell your parent that I have a girlfriend, since you have no job. And one thing, she knows that if you have the girlfriend, the money that you will spend on her comes from him or her. So it's so hard to tell the parent that I have a girlfriend. I'm sure if she was giving 1,000 bob, she'll start giving you 500 shillings. Since she knows if she gives the 1,000 bob, the 500
will go to her.
Jeff, I'm coming to you, but let me listen to her. Then I come to you.
Okay, also some parents, they are very tribal. Like for example, if you're a Kisii or if you're a Jaluo and you bring home a Kikuyu, they're like, hey, kwani, what's wrong with you? Others, let's say for example, now if you're a Kikuyu and you bring home a Jaluo, you know, they're like, uyu ulimtoa wapi, you know. And also some parents, they judge someone by the way the person has dressed. Like there are some parents who, akiona msee amevaa the ripped jeans, anasema, sasa huyu amevaa nguo zimeraruka. Or if someone has shaved a certain style, they don't want that for you, you know. So also those are some limitations that can make you not to introduce someone to your parents.
Jeff, you listen to the fears. These are real fears. How do you think these fears can affect the kind of relationship that they have?
Before we proceed to what he has asked, let's be realistic. What are some of these things? Because I was once your age, and I was not an easy person around that time. What is it that your parents think that if they are allowed, because they know that if they allowed this, for example, you come to your parent, tell him or her, we have a Kesha in church. Remember this, your parent also, for instance, worships in the same church. And probably she even had the announcement that there's going to be a Kesha in church. Why would your mother or father single you out from not going? Yes.
They have this picture in their head about you, and in my opinion, that's them when they were your age. They think that's you, which is totally not the case. You're not given the opportunity to socialize. they don't know how you behave around people your age, but they tend to have a picture of you in their minds, like if you go to that place you'll come back like so and so, so to be safe you're not going. They haven't given you that faith. Go, but don't do this and that. Those are two different things.
Many of you are seated here. Look at the word socialize very differently. A girl of your age thinks that socializing freely is going to sleep at a man's house. That is one. A man of your age thinks bringing a woman to your room is your right because you're a man. Or because you're a boy and culturally in the African context, you're not supposed to be asked. When I was your age, my father refused me from coming back home after 6. And it was a big thing. I had even to build my own house after 21 years somewhere there outside my father's compound. Because I thought I would get my freedom. And I just demolished that house very recently. But when they gave me the freedom and I built that house, nyumba ya matope nje ya compound, because I didn't have the money, I realized that there's nothing into it. I mean, it even got boring. I took back my things into my parents' house. So before we go very far, I'm back to that question. What are some of those things that ordinarily if a parent lets you lose, you will not be yourself? For instance, some of you, because you joined university, you don't want your mother to tell you, for example, what to wear or advise you on what to wear because it looks old, it sounds old, it's not modern. There are certain practices that inform this kind of prohibiting. My boys, utapata buda yako akikuongelesha, the way you respond because unafeel umekuwa kandume. And that occasion sometimes wazee wengine wanafukuza someone from home. So we went to college also like some of you went. And I can tell you vividly well what I was in first year. And by the time I finished university, I was a different person. And I never saw the sense in why would my for example, I came home one day smelling, I'd put on a roll-on. And my father took a very big issue with that. That why am I smelling like that? Are you seeing that? Now, years later, this very my father of mine, I give him a roll-on and he takes.
The fears of our parents, are they real or they are just imaginary? Let me listen to her.
My brother wants to go out and I want to go out. He'll be given the first priority. Why? Because I'm a girl. And they tend to think like, if I go out, maybe I'll get pregnant and he'll be in a better position to take care of himself, like because he's elder and stuff. So I don't think they're realistic. They're not.
I think parents should have faith in the way they raised us. Right now we're in university. They had 18 good years to instill all the right ingredients in us. 18 years. That is like they've imprinted everything in our minds. They should have faith that where they've reached, even a bird, at some point it has to let its little ones to fly away. Yeah, they have to have faith that when they let us go, that we'll be able to handle ourselves according to what they have been teaching us ever since.
As you can see, the discussion is really heating up. Let's take a short break, and here's what to expect when we come back.
They were always the right parents, the ones who were always number one, the ones who were always coming home early. They did all the right things. Like they don't make it seem like they are also human beings. Technology has evolved. Things are evolving. Our parents are the only thing not changing.